Good evening, everybody. Shyam Sundar here from India Nuclear Forum.
Shyam Sundar, yeah. Good afternoon.
So, good afternoon, good evening. So, welcome you all for this brief meeting. Are you able to hear me, sir?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, we are.
So we have people still joining. The context today was, DAE has announced these SHANTI rules and SHANTI regulations in two separate sections. I have personally asked for extension of time for this, giving the response, which has been given by DAE as the 4th of September. I don't know if any of you have already asked for extension or you feel there is a need to seek the extension to submit the formal response.
Yeah.
Any of you have asked for extension, sir?
No. But actually, it is required because documents are used, so it requires a lot of time to go into deep and grasp it. So it is good if you have demanded.
My request to all of you is, please formally, officially send an email from your own organization to DAE for the extension of time. That will help to create the momentum with the DAE. This is number one. You can possibly do it today immediately after this webinar is over. That will help.
Shama, what extension did you ask for? Did you specify like 2 weeks, 1 month?
I asked for at least 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, so, 2 weeks should be sufficient. Yeah.
Okay. So, I think with this, I request all of you to take care of this because more requests for extension of the time will help the DAE to think of postponing the date, extend the date. Maybe we can even ask for 1 month and they will come back with a 15-day period. That's also okay.
Yeah.
So with this, I now request, I don't know if any of you have gone through and you are ready to make some specific comments for the benefit of compilation later. We are recording this webinar and the team, INF team will compile and make the consolidated recommendations, and it will be shared with all of you before we submit formally to DAE. So now I leave the floor open. You can make your individual points. I request all of you to please mute your microphones and you can unmute only when you are speaking. So with this, I make the floor open. Some of you have already shared the written comments to INF. So maybe I can request those who have already shared to start the discussion by briefly mentioning about their policy recommendations. You can announce who wants to speak and then you can say your name and organization name.
So I can start, but I am going to give nuclear fusion perspective. But I thought let the fission people first talk and then I'll talk about fusion.
Okay. Excellent, sir. Pramadji, please go ahead. Yeah.
I go ahead. Okay. So let me share my short presentation.
Yeah.
If I can share the thing. I've already shared this in the group also.
Yes. Please be brief and to the point.
I'll be brief. If I can get it. Yeah, can you see this?
Yes.
So basically, my perspective here is from nuclear fusion and fusion fission hybrid point of view, which have not been covered properly. I'll go very fast. So right now in the document, the draft documents, the fusion system has been classified based on fuel. For example, it mentions a tritium device becomes a full reactor, and deuterium device is confined to research and education. That's a very difficult classification. Nobody does it fuel. So what I realized that we need to actually create a separate fusion related section which actually explains what the fusion related regulation should be. I have shared again the full document also. Yes, there is one point. And the tritium, the amount of tritium is a very important role that it plays. So what is suggested, there are 3 tiers in this. One is below some amount T1, for example. I have not specified this, AERB can specify. If it's below that, it will be research and venture scale. If it's between T1 and T2, it will be demonstration pilot, and above certain number, it will be for fusion power plant, where more safety precautions have to be taken. So there is a bench scale thing, and there's a full reactor license. In between, there's nothing in between. So, for example, I've taken a deuterium device, add a small micrograms of tritium, it becomes a full-scale reactor. So there should be something in between. Then it talks about the operational precedent. In fusion, there is no such thing. So we have to carefully remove these portions. When there is no precedence, you cannot simply ask for precedence in foreign country. The tritium regulation has to be very important. That's the critical part that is completely missed out right now. In the fusion fission hybrid system, there's a K term, K effective, which basically means that if K effective is equal to 1, that means it's a critical thing. Normally, fusion fission hybrid systems work below that. So depending on the K effectiveness, the system can be decided to whether it falls into reactor regime or not. So this is a very important part. A very important part is separation of certain substances remains under exclusive control of government. Now, typically, whether when we use as a fusion power plant or fusion fission hybrid, we have blankets. For example, I'm using tritium and there's a lithium blanket surrounding it. The neutrons that come out go to lithium blanket, and it also absorbs the heat from the neutron. At the same time, it breeds tritium, and we recycle it back. So if these substances are the government control, then none of the reactors will work. So we have to look at this part. And there are financial provisions related to fission, which are also applicable to fusion right now. They need to be removed because it's not applicable there. The 9th and 10th terms are that actually there should be some fusion safety code, which could be published within the next 2 years' time. That's the request. And there is certain things that are missing from fusion development point of view, which I'm not going to details. That's the point that we need to cover. So I'll just stop at this point. I have shared detailed documents also in the group, and I will stop at this point. Thank you so much.
Pakistan's nuclear Irada Hills. Tonight the answer.
Can you? Who is speaking? Can you please recognize yourself? Tell your name and company name.
Yeah, I think Shyam Sundar, I'm now coming. R.K. Gupta from Hindalco. Okay. Yeah. So in the terms and conditions of the license, actually it has been written that the licensee, he will take, the licensee will take actually approval from the board for the design, means design approval will be taken by the licensee. So I'm here my point is ki suppose licensee is not the technology supplier, license so technology supplier may be anyone, NPCIL or any foreign player. Okay. So the licensee, if licensee is going to take approval, because licensee doesn't know the details of the design, technology and all. So exactly. I think that the technology supplier they should take the approval from the board for their design and design. So the approval should be taken by the technology supplier, not by the licensee. So that is my one point. Okay. So second point is that in this here it is written that the licensee will take the approval for lifetime. So I don't know, this approval will be given for the lifetime or for certain period. It is not mentioned here. Okay.
Mhm.
So I think it should be clear. Then it is also written that availability of the qualified person certified by board. So for various positions relevant to construction and quality assurance. So suppose after getting clearance and environment clearance and everything, if licensee goes for the construction. Okay, so if a board itself can provide the details of the position, that these are the people required for during construction, okay, and for the supervision, and this should be the criteria for their experience and knowledge. So I think that will be much better. Means it will means there will be one standard format, okay, for the manpower who can ensure the quality during construction and supervision can happen properly. So I think these are the two points. And also third point is that in here it is written about the capability of the licensee. Okay. So it also talks about the financial condition. Okay. So licensee has to ensure no, that for the it is not clear that for the lifetime operation, licensee has a full financial strength and he is means licensee is capable of operating it. So I think here how a licensee can ensure for a lifetime operation means initially it can be for the 10 years or like that. Okay, so it should be boundary should be there. Okay, in the capacity headline. I think these are the 2-3 points. So later on, some more points will come up. But prima facie, these were the initial points which came into my mind. Thank you.
Even in the Indian Nuclear Forum deliberations, it came out very clearly that the licensing has to be in two stages. So one for the technology of the OEM and other for the site specific by the operator. That's a very valid point.
Correct.
So you have reaffirmed those points. Only thing is I request if you have already sent, that is fine. Otherwise, whatever you have said now, can you please put it down and again the relevant sections of the rules and send it to us so that the compilation will become easy. That's the purpose.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you.
Please. Next. Anybody next?
So can I go ahead? Pradeep here.
Please. Who is? Sorry, can you identify your name and the company?
Yeah, so Pradeep from Polyenergetics here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Pradeep, please go ahead.
Yeah. So you already know. So we are designing molten salt reactor, and we have provided in brief. We have given our suggestions to the group, but we'll with act and rules will send again. And our recommendation was similar to what Rajesh ji mentioned, but from a different perspective. So we are designing reactor and we wanted a provision where the design gets approved without siting requirement. But as per the current rules, we first have to go for a license which depends on a site, and only then the design authorization will be considered. So if that can be decoupled, simplifies our life, and it's along the lines of how regulators in US, UK, Canada operate. They have provisions to get the design approved, and whatever fees and all, with those, this can be considered. This was one. And then the other thing was the exclusion zone for SMRs or MMRs was not mentioned. There was a reference that it will be decided by government, but it was not mentioned. So I just wanted to highlight these 2 points. We will, in the DA format, will provide these things and mail it to you.
Okay, great. That will be wonderful. This MMR exclusion zone for SMR, MMR has been raised by many people. They have asked us. So that's a very important issue. Please, again, I request you make these points in the notes from your side against the specific section. Make these 2 points. That will be very helpful.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Pradeep. Yeah, please. The next, who will go next?
Yes, can I go next, sir?
Who is this?
Sir, I'm Satvik from Grace.
Satvik, please go ahead. Yeah.
So first of all, I would like to thank ProSem and you, Dr. Shyam Sundar sir, for this opportunity to speak and put our thoughts together. So I will just be very brief. We would like to raise 3 points from Grace. The first is, as we spoke, is regarding the exclusion zone. So the drafts don't fix any distance. They only say that as prescribed by the board. So for furthermore clarity, if the radius would be 1 kilometer, which is as today, or will it be reduced and optimized based on the reactor size and the design? Earlier, there were a few of reports from routers in May saying that DAE and AERB have agreed in principle to reduce it to about 700 meters for large reactors and 500 meters for small modular reactors. We were hoping to see some more clarity on that in the drafts, so we would like to request some more clarity on the exclusion zone. And second is regarding the power purchase agreement. So the rule 106 says that only the committee will decide uh, tariff norms later, and for a lender, a committee will decide later is almost as same as no. So we would like to request that a model PPA be published as a schedule to the rules, and in the meantime, some indicative timeline for when these norms would come. And also, we would really encourage if we can take a two-part tariff, a capacity that would cover the loan repayments and fixed costs and payable as long as the plant is available, even if it's asked to run less. That is what would make the banks more comfortable. And then per unit energy charge for the fuel and the running costs. And the final third point that we would like to raise is regarding considering nuclear as green. Nuclear is round the clock and zero carbon power, right? But India's own sovereign green bond framework of 2022 explicitly excludes it. It's on the same exclusion list as the fossil fuel project. That closes off a lot of doors of a large pool of cheaper capital like green bonds, green loans, ESG investors, etc. that solar and wind already has access to. So we would like to request to reconsider this exclusion, considering that the world is also moving ahead. The EU included nuclear in 2022. The World Bank has ended its decades-long ban in June 25 and also partnered with the IEA. And at COP28, 22 countries pledged to triple their nuclear by 2050. So considering nuclear as a green would definitely bring a lot of comfort to the banks, and also the developers can access a lot more cheaper capital, eventually pushing all these projects further. So these are the 3 points that I would like to raise. We have also compiled a list of multiple points. I would be emailing that to you, sir, in the prescribed format as well.
Great. See, the issue of exclusion zone is very clear. This is within the realm of AERB and DAE. But the tariff and the other things, making it bankable, the structure to I don't know if that is in the realm of Ministry of Power or whether it is in the realm of DAE. This was discussed during the Niti Aayog meeting also, where I think you were also there.
Yes,
But
sir.
this is something which has to be taken up at some level. But definitely that's the point. Please make it, let's put it across to DAE and let them decide how this tariff structure will work out. Again, green bond, green taxonomy inclusion, that also is, I don't know if DAE has the right or Ministry of MNRE can take the call. I don't know who will do that. So these are the questions, but anyway, we will push for this. Very, very valid points. Thank you, Sir.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody next with some ready points?
Yes,
please.
I'm
Ashok from Marsh India. Just wanted to add to what Satvik's one of the point it was regarding financing and
Ashok,
tariff.
Ashok, can you just say your name and your company again?
I will repeat. I'm Ashok Kumar. I work with Marsh India, and I'm part of committee member of nuclear mission. I'm also part of the high level committee member on financing, which we had a meeting at Niti Aayog. I wanted to add a point what Satvik asked a few moments back. It was regarding the financing and tariff. So we had one meeting because the financing and tariff both will go side by side. So tariff is certainly one important part, which is a bigger subject how they will do. On the financing also, we discussed different models, whether the financing institutions like REC, PFC can do, or there could be a dedicated financing institution. The second point is that I also suggested that there could be a option where they can provide a cheaper source of capital, right? And then when it came to cheaper source of capital, how the capital can be raised. So the other points were discussed, like external commercial borrowing can be allowed, and where we gave a solution that how external commercial borrowing can be borrowed at a cheaper rate. As you know, India has got a current rating of triple B. Since our sovereign rating is triple B, our cost of borrowing is higher. So there is a structure which is called NPI, non-payment insurance structure. So that was also discussed. A note was shared to them that a structure can be done. The other point was that we can raise fund, which should be a long-term capital is required, and maybe the government may think of some of the suggestions like giving a tax advantage or some other advantage so that the cost of fund can become affordable. The other problem which was discussed that the banks generally lend for a period of 7 years,
Ashok
10
Kumar,
years. Yeah.
Ashok Kumar, can I intervene for a minute? The way it looks, this is the way I feel, maybe others can correct. DIE has taken care of only the licensing part and the regulatory part. The financing part, they have said this is not, it looks like they have said this is not my job. This may be the job of the Ministry of Finance or I don't know, some other department, not my job. That is the way it looks like. But definitely this is an issue for the industry stakeholders, for the people who are trying to invest. I suspect the thought process of DAE could be possibly this is to be taken by somebody else, some other ministry. That's why in the recommendations we have made, we have suggested for, I hope all of you had a chance to look at the recommendations and policy recommendations and industry concerns that India Nuclear Forum has produced. And that's available in the website. You can request Soumya or Umesh Kumar to take a copy of that if you have not got that. In that, we have said a very high-level committee called Nuclear Development Council has to be formed, comprising of all the concerned ministries, which should be chaired by somebody like Cabinet Secretary or Principal Secretary, and it should have the people from the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Industry, Ministry of Environment and Forest, etc., all the other ministries who get involved. Otherwise, this 100 gigawatts will never happen. And then there should be executive arm under this, comprising of the secretaries or joint secretaries of various departments. These are the two key suggestions that have gone. So your points regarding tariff and finance is a key issue. and bankability of the projects is a key issue. But I suspect DIE is thinking that is not their job. This is my perception. We have to discuss with them, but maybe they have taken a call that should be handled by some other, including the foreign direct investment. What is the proposal of foreign direct? All such things may be under different ministries. So just to give, your points are valid. Please share your written notes on each of the items you want to say, and then we will submit and we will push with the other ministries of the government as well.
Point well taken. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Jagdeep ji, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Jaideep Gupta. I'm retired additional member, Railway Electrification Railway Board. And now I'm professor of practice in NIT Bhopal, looking after the postgraduate and graduate clean energy subjects. In fact, 2 or 3 quick points to be flagged. Number one, when we are preparing the syllabus for the capacity building or for students, can we have a broad guideline? What are the things to be especially given the exposure at the graduation level and the PG level, so that these people can easily get a certification from the regulatory body when they'll be getting their, they can become a very good asset for the nuclear ecosystem. So can we get that? Number two, is this design being finalized? What is going to be the final design for 220 kWe or in fact 55 kWe? I am told that these two things are finalized, but what is going to be the fuel? What is going to be the in fact the way it's working, and something on this? What is going to be the standard? Because we'll be exposing our students with these technology, which is going to come for our Indian ecosystem. So these 2 or 3 points, if we get, we can start right now in building the capacity of our students. That is what my contention was. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jaideep Gupta. This is Niti Aayog has formed a subgroup to look into the capacity building aspects. I think Professor J.B. Joshi of ICT is the chair of that, and Professor Sunit Singh and others are in the committee. Maybe, so if you send that, then I will connect them to you and then you can take it further. But this is being discussed. The capacity building is discussed. Maybe you should write your note, then we can take this forward. Capacity building is a very key component. We need to generate engineers and other workforce needed for expanding the nuclear power. That's very clear. Yeah.
Achha, is the design being finalized? What is going to be the final design for our SMR and for nuclear?
220 megawatt nuclear, that is a uranium-based pressurized heavy water reactor that is frozen. That is what they are converting as SMR, or they're calling it as SMR. But that's a conventional power plant. And another thing is 700 megawatt PSWR. This is from the NPCIL side. Other things are available from the market, outside market. That is from Rosatom and EDF. They are the two people who are active in India. But Rosatom has installation, EDF has no installation in India. Anyway, once you send this, we can connect you to the people. From NPCIL side, 700 megawatt and 220 megawatt is the capacity.
That the fuel is the enriched uranium.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Next, sir. Anybody else?
I would like to add, I'm Samyak from IYNS Tech Solutions. My point was regarding two things. One was there when we are as a designer, but the license which has been given is a complete license for build, own, operate. So this particularly makes it difficult for a startup or an industry to have that kind of until the design is being made and have it the design has been particularly prototype has been licensed to a point. So when we are looking, when I was looking to the suggestion I'm trying to develop, or to put it that way, is that they create a intermediate stage for only designing and to a certain stage, and then we go for complete production and all, because as this stage particularly, if you look at it, my intention would be to have collaborators for deployment it in down the line, rather me being only the technology provider as a startup which is designing a reactor. So which does not come for the licensing. They have included all parts together and only one unified license to be given out. So that is I'm trying to put it out and change it with the intermediate licensing in a way. The second part is in some cases, I think the education and educational laws also be taken permission from the DAE. I'm trying to read or understand what they're meaning, but this is something also which I would like to change, that educational activities is being separated. This kind of trainings can be done by the private institution. May not need every time to approach DAE for this.
Yeah. So in the regulatory part for the new designs, I think there is no provision. There is no provision for R&D type of projects where a indigenous product is developed.
Yes.
Am I correct? That's what you are telling?
No, the provisions are there, but the provisions say that the licensing will not be only given for the designing part or the developing the technology part. The license will be of the unified form, where it will have the build, own, operate kind of the complete licensing, basically a composite license, rather than just only introducing it for the prototype reactor or something where we prove our design and we take that I have a technology ready. If I look at it from a bigger perspective, like build, own, operate, and decommission, then I am not just a technology provider. I am also the someone who is building an EPC contractor as well. I am also the operator down the line. Only I cannot dissipate in the way. So the license will be on this part. And even this is another part is a minor. If you look at it in the rule 3, rule 10, rule 14, 17, everywhere, what they have for the licensing, what they have used the word is and any eligible person as specified, is particularly specified. So that is something I will to look for as an entity. Is the company license there, or only a person will be there? So if tomorrow, if that person goes outside of the company, does the company lose its license also?
Correct. This is a very, 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 very point. Yeah.
So this is something which I was looking towards. So one was the eligibility as a company, not as an individual person. Second was the composite license. Rather than a composite, a complete licensing, some part where demonstration or technology provision for the indigenous development can be done. So this is two major point of because we are developing first of a kind. We'll have design certification, everything there.
So design certification in the stages is one of the things, and having the company is one thing, and then the education, approval for the education.
Yes, DAFs. There is another part which may not affect many other, but the point is thorium current, since I am particularly there are many others also we are developing for the thorium. So the thorium supply chain is completely monopolized by the government. So now if you have to develop something, then we'll have to also look into the matter of fact that if they are ready to go us, or if develop for the technology development, will we be aware, or AMD or IREL will take or the joint ventures can be formed for developing the fuel, so that the back-end cycle of the fuel can also be done together, making sure that now because the decommissioning is the government's responsibility.
Great. Samyak, have you already sent these points, or you are yet to send this to us?
No, I'm yet to send.
Please share these very important points. Also, ask for extension of the time with DAE. These are very valid points. Whatever you are doing,
yes.
Very valid points. Okay. Thank you, Samyak.
Good evening, sir. I would like to speak. Jai Thakkar from Afro-Asian Insurance and Reinsurance Brokers.
Please, go ahead.
I would like to comment on the rules section number 78, periodic review of operators' nuclear liability limits. So currently, obviously after the CLND Act, the Shanti Act has taken over. But, the Act does not talk about private sector participation. So, if you have any of these projects which happen under a PPP type of operation, there is no solution currently. So, I was going to make some recommendations in the required format. But if we could follow the example of the terrorism pool, whereby you have levies from not only public but private partnerships also, so then you can build the whole pool, and then review every 5 years is possible. But currently the rules and everything is very centric around central government and its operations. But if we are expecting, private sector participation, then we need to cater for insurance needs of that segment as well.
Yeah. So again, this is similar to whatever I was talking to Ashok Kumar. See, this might be they are thinking. I don't know how the thing is. DAE is thinking, but maybe they have thought. But this is a very important issue. Insurance, the liability is an important issue. Please make this point, and we will push for this.
Sure.
Okay,
Jai, you can reach out to me also for discussion because I'm officially taking care the insurance and reinsurance part and nuclear part of it. I have been part of nuclear mission committee from the CLNDA Act and why this point. You have made a valid point. My number is there in that group. You can reach out to me and probably you and me can discuss and try to share thoughts which can actually help industry.
Excellent. Thank you.
Sundarji, there are people who have raised their hands. Could you give them?
Good evening, sir. Can I speak? Hello.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so this is Raghotaman from Big Bang Boom Solutions. So we had two questions essentially. One, will this bill allow startups to support in fuel supply or in spent fuel management? Both these aspects. And is there a possibility of developing and testing new technologies here? Our understanding is right now the rule doesn't allow. So is it does it also allow new technology to be developed and tested here in India?
I think there are many startups in this panel also, in this webinar also, participating. So new technology development in the reactor side is going on, that will continue. In the nuclear fuel side, I don't know what the specific things are. So you can, I don't know if you have gone through the licensing rules and regulations.
We have, sir. So in our understanding, testing of new technologies here is slightly not clear.
So please make that point. Point.
Okay.
This is the thing, we have in our policy recommendations, we have asked there should be multiple locations where test reactors should be put in and there should be technologies to be tested. That's one of our requirement. So please make this point, then we will present
it. Does this allow private startups like us to help in the fuel supply and also in fuel like spent fuel management? Like, does the act allow us?
Spent fuel management, I don't know, others have to say, but fuel supply side, they have clearly said, even the act said private parties can invest in creating fuel fabrication facilities, etc. That was there.
Okay.
So says at the appropriate section, you please raise your point and then make the submission to us. Yeah. Mr. Pranjal Singh, sir, you have raised the hand. Sir Pranjal Singh, you can unmute.
Namaskar, sir. And I'm Pranjal, and as you, I'm representing Sunlion, and I wish for more such outreach programs from nuclear fusions, and because this is very new and we are still in the process of understanding this SHANTI Act, and if more such programs and more such outreach will help, professionals to understand what, like ISRO has recently stopped manufacturing and everything will be now manufactured by the private startups. So there would be some fundamental shift in DAE and the government, because earlier we had this very strong belief that this nuclear domain is belongs to, it has a strong hold of government, and we are still colonized by that thought. So what are, because we need some force of outreach and business development to really penetrate this idea of SHANTI Act and to so that it can be the target could be achieved.
Thank you, sir. I think one Advait Karkare.
Yeah, hello, sir.
Please. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So I am a PhD student at ICT Mumbai. So I've gone through the act and the rules. So some of the things like where basically there are very vague terms which like prescribed substance, specific threshold, and such other conditions as may be notified. So these, if it is possible that these should be notified right now when the rules are like finalized, so that because we unless this is finalized, then there is no investors, they will be, or any technology developers also, there is no clarity. And when these notifications will be provided, that's up, like what timeline we don't know, that it will be specified in what timeline. So that's one part. Then other thing is related to some of the other people have also raised is related to the startups. So there is no differentiated pathway for startups and incubation centers, if that will be, and as you said, that there should be a collaboration among the ministries. So the Ministry of Industries, the Department of Promotion for Industrial Trade, for Startup India, Make in India, all these other linkages are not there in the rules currently. Or for example, for procurement, is there any domestic minimum requirement? Like Make in India requirement is there for many of the projects. So such provisions are not provided. And the other thing is related to the nuclear energy mission. So 5 indigenously developed SMRs. So what is the pathway for that? And the 20,000 crores that has been announced. So how those will be disbursed through this act? I don't know if it has to be in the rules or it separately, there has to be some policy for that. So the nuclear energy mission and the rules, they do not, they have no conversation. Like basically they are independently, they have been documented, it seems. And the one of the point that demonstration some of the startups are pursuing. So for that, like in the US, there are these DOE facilities where the startups are given access to those facilities, or the Idaho National Lab and the national labs in US. So such facilities, already DAE has those facilities. So the startup should be allowed to, there should be some mechanism for the startups to access those facilities for testing their whatever technology is there, so that they don't have to build everything from the scratch. So I think these are mainly the points that I wanted to raise.
Yeah, very nice. The same. When I browse through these both rules and regulations, I also saw a lot of areas where there is no clarity and it is quite vague, which cannot happen in a rules to enable the industries. So if you can highlight each of the line by line, if you can go through and highlight those points, that would be very helpful for us.
Yeah. So we have prepared, and from ICT also we will be sending, and I'll also send it to you. So
yeah, that will be wonderful.
So you can take it up with the authority. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Advait.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know who else has raised the hand. Anybody wants to go next? Professor Ashok Khanna, you want to say something, sir? You are muted, sir. Professor Khanna, you are muted. You have to unmute yourself.
Yeah. No, I don't know how I should phrase it. I had no intention of saying anything, but since you have prompted, and my concern would be as to whether the foreign investors, if they are being allowed, I'm sure you know who are the prospective foreign investors who might join the exercise. And then the debate about the thorium and HALEU, the higher assay, low enrichment uranium with respect to the team in Anil and the BARC rebuttal in the current science, has it, have we narrowed it down to the a clarified point, or the debate is still on?
That's a different matter. But since you have raised the Anil fuel guys, they did some work with MIT and with Idaho National Lab, which Karkare was talking about, and they have published a paper which counters the whatever BRC had said. So that's a separate topic. Maybe we can discuss that separately. I will share that paper or that link to you separately. Let's focus on the rules and regulations.
Okay, and since I am on the platform here talking, so there was one professor from Bhopal, NIT, Jaideep Gupta, who raised the issue of syllabus, and probably you pointed out to Dr. J.B. Joshi for that. I have taught nuclear engineering at IIT Kanpur, if
Yes,
not
sir,
from the beginning
I
of
know.
my career. So I would be interested in that syllabus part of it also.
Professor Gupta, for your information, Professor Khanna ran the nuclear engineering department in IIT Kanpur. You two can get
Yeah,
connected.
sure. Yeah, sure. We'll be happy to take him on board with us.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
He's
fine. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Just one liner, since you all are talking about IIT, I'm happy to share I was the general secretary of all 23 IIT alumni body called Pan IIT Alumni India. Last month, I have completed my tenure of 2 years of general secretary of Pan IIT, where I get a chance to interact with all the IIT directors, professors, and alumni body, and we do a lot of impact activity, anything with the doing with the IITs, IIT director, professors. It will be easier for me to reach out through my Pan IIT official position, just a sideline since IIT was discussed. And I'm a mining engineer. So for minerals and critical, somebody was talking about IREL or anything. So Indian School of Mines or IIT ISM Dhanbad is the go-to person from where I graduated. So together, why did I share all these data points? Because it will help for the professor who was talking about the capacity building and training. So we also had a subcommittee with the capacity building under the Niti Aayog and CEA, where I was also member, and Tata Tata Power or Tata Group head HR was part of that. So there is also a subcommittee out of that. So I will request the forum members to have each vertical's detail. And since we all have raised different points, so once you go to the all the subcommittee and ask these questions, I think you will be in a position to get more insights and probably more impactful information. So here I pause, sir. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else has a point? Fred, you want to say your perspective?
I think Mr. Amit Mittal is waiting, has raised his hand.
Amit Mittal?
Yeah, hi, I am Amit Mittal from Bajaj Energy. So basically, I think most of the points have been raised. I say that for us as a developer, the clarity related to the power purchase agreement is also of prime importance, and we have submitted in the earlier round of consultation. We have suggested that SECI-based PPAs kind of structure, which is there in renewable, should be there in for nuclear also. And nuclear to be treated at par with renewable in terms of nuclear purchase obligation. That is also a must for getting the PPA entered by the distribution companies and their accessibility in terms of taking the cost of it. Then another issue is related to the Section 32 of the Shanti Act. I think there are certain policies and the standards which have to be specified by the central government. It is given under the general powers and functions of central government, like nuclear, national nuclear energy policy, and other listed of other quality assurance standards and other things. So I think there, whatever license, say suppose if we are entering into a license in principle approval, so if there is a subsequent changes in the policy and which will affect the conditions of a license, so then that should be made operational from a that clarity has to come, that there are a lot of policies and specific under the what time. And then in terms of in principle approval, if you see rule 5.2, it talks about once you identify site and technology, then again the your in principle approval would again go for a fresh assessment. So I think that duplication of effort should be done away with, and there should be only one in principle approval which should be done, and then once site and technology is identified, then there could be composite license that can be issued, because otherwise the same in principle approval process would again continue at the time of composite license also. So the duplication wherever it is possible, as some of my friends from ICT Mumbai have said, that wherever there could be specific treatment of a particular condition, that would give more certainty to the investors, and we would encourage the specificity in the rules so that there is a clarity in terms of planning for it. So we are working on a detailed comments. We will share it, but these are my primary comments. I think very good work has been done to give initial framework. Some improvements are required, so those we can always point out.
Thank you very much. Even during the policy recommendations, I think the note that Bajaj Energy gave was very useful, and your pointers for policy recommendations were very precise and very helpful. Thank you very much. Please share whenever you are ready. Please share at the earliest, and we will take. And you also request for extension of the time for submission of the comments with the DA. Okay. Thank you. Anybody?
As a company, we will not require additional time. We will not oppose it. So.
Okay. So you can share with DA also and with us also. We will combine all the things together and share with DA.
Yes.
Okay. Great. Yeah. Anybody else wants to make a point? Jivendra. Yeah.
Yeah, good afternoon to everybody. Myself, JK Jain. I am in Tata Power as an advisor nuclear. So I would like to supplement some points here in addition to whatever has already been discussed. This rule number 28, the R&D work, it has been mentioned in the rule that no license is needed. But suppose somebody has developed reactor technology in collaboration with the foreign OEM or indigenous and foreign counterpart. So in that situation, how the further design approval and licensing will be given, and how that can be materialized? But clarity is not there in the rule, because directly the foreign technology they are not entertaining without the operational experience. So that gap is there, so that has to be addressed. And one more point regarding insurance, rule number 77 on this nuclear liability. So what I would like to mention here, because till now hot zone insurance is not taken by NPCL even in India. Only cold zone was taken earlier, and the government was taking care for this nuclear liability. So now private players has to take the license, this insurance, So in that situation, provision for comprehensive insurance should be made that will cater for nuclear liability and hot zone both. So that will be a better suggestion. Yesterday, GIC some conference were over there like that webinar. So I mentioned this point also. And this fuel security point of view, rule number 10. See, government is having a G2G agreement with the various countries, so they should make some procedure so private players can source the even yellow cake or natural uranium or fabricated fuel from those countries easily without the going into the cumbersome process. So it has to be regulated through the government license they will give, but they should give proper support on those. These are my points, sir.
Again, I will request, have you already sent your comments or you can,
no,
if not, you can send it.
We will share, sir. We will share.
Please, that will be, these are very valid points.
Yeah.
Anybody has raised the hands? Next. Mr. Hemant Rao, can I request you to comment about the fuel fabrication and fuel security, sir? There are a lot of discussions on that. You can unmute, please. Hemant Rao, you can unmute yourself. You are muted.
Yeah. Say, my name is Hemant Rao, ex nuclear fuel complex. I have 2 points actually. When someone wants to start a reactor, we have to have a tie-up with government agency. In this case, it is NPCL. When we have a tie-up with NPCL to part with the technology has to come along with fuel design as well as other designs like reactivity control designs and other things. If the designs are already given, why a fuel fabricator should have another tie-up with Indian fuel fabricator? They can do on their own. So if you have 2 classes of regulations, both are mentioned. You have to have a tie-up with fuel fabricator. You have to tie up with a nuclear reactor manufacturer or nuclear reactor technology. Why there should be 2 different tie-ups? The design tie-up is already available with NPCL or DAE, anything. Why they should have another tie-up with? That is my first point. The second point, what Mr. J.K. Jain has told regarding G2G agreement, government-to-government agreements or fuel supply, not only fuel, think about even zirconium sponge. Even though it is being made presently, it is the capacity may not be sufficient. So if somebody wants to buy sponge also, zirconium sponge, I mean, there should be government-to-government agreement. Otherwise, the volatility of prices will cause disruption in operation of either nuclear reactor or fuel supplies. So these are my 2 points, basically from as a fuel fabricator.
Thank you, sir. Please make these notes. We didn't realize the sponge issue that you have raised the appropriate issue. I think that is very apt. Please share these comments in written form.
Definitely.
Okay. Anybody else has any points, sir? Please.
Hi, may I come in?
Please.
My name is Raghutam. I'm a journalist and researcher based in Bangalore. I was just wondering, I'm mostly worried about whether there is space for innovation in this in the new policy. And I'm looking at how the reactor and the fuel interaction happens, right? Innovation can happen only if you bring together the reactor and the fuel thing, right? But there are many restrictions on the fuel side. And it's a very strange set of restrictions because fuel import is allowed. Fuel fabrication is regulated but allowed. fissile material, spent fuel, government, says it will take care of that, but you have to build a fund for that. So the logistics of doing this and the logistics of being in touch with the safeguards agreements. I think safeguards hasn't been spoken about at all. We in India are in a Trishanku, right? In terms of the freedom to do stuff in nuclear. So why is it that there is no discussion on safeguards? So that was one thing I was worrying about. Second thing, I was thinking about how does DAE protect its 3-stage program, and how does it ensure that all these spent fuel in the private sector goes back into making more fissile inventory for the FBR project and the thorium, accelerate the path to thorium. I'm actually very pleased that there are so many people saying they're working with MSR and thorium technologies, which is great. But I don't know if this policy allows enough, leeway for innovation to happen. In the space sector, I think the aspiration was the space sector thing, right? InSpace does a great job, and the private sector space has been able to do a lot of things. But that's because they have the entire technology stack open to them. Here, if you separate the fuel and the reactor design, there is not going to be much innovation. So ultimately, the policy has come out, even though there is aspiration for nuclear innovation, the ultimate policy that has come out allows people to set up power reactors and run, power plants, but the innovation side is, sort of caught up in a lot of uncertainty. So I was wondering if anybody had thought on these lines and were worried about these aspects.
Great. Raghutam, firstly, you said you're in Bangalore. We are also in Bangalore. I'm in Bangalore. So maybe we should connect sometime, apart from this.
Yeah. Sure.
Because, once we will meet, and we will catch up. But as you can see, there are at least 4 startups who are represented in this webinar, right from Prabhat Ranjan, Pradeep, Samyak Punot. All these people are already the startups, but the policy has to still go a long way to enable such startups to replicate what happened in other sectors like space or even automotive, electric vehicles, etc. We have to create a more encouraging policy framework for this. But the act is already on. At least 5-6 startups are there in nuclear sector, which but very valid point. Please share your comments, and then we will try to catch up sometime over a phone call, or even we'll meet up and have a coffee also together. Yeah.
Let's meet up and talk.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Is there anybody next? Fred, I don't know if Fred Jones has left. Smallava Bagla, Fred Jones, you're here. Fred, do you have some comments?
Yes, still here. So look, quite honestly, there's so much to absorb, and we've been going through so many aspects of this that I don't think it's very useful just for me to pick 1 or 2 things out of the air. We're going to have quite a substantial list of issues that we'll discuss with you first before we submit anything. But obviously, we're very positive about seeing these rules and regulations, finally coming out. But as I mentioned, there's just so many things in our mind that that we need this extension of time.
Yeah. Great.
Okay.
Anybody else? Okay. I think if there are nobody, I think we will wrap up this webinar. There were a lot of very, very good inputs, very well calibrated inputs from potential operators, from people from the banking and insurance side, from academics, from journalists, from former DAE personnel, there are a lot of things that have come in. Thank you very much. Please share your comments. Then we will push. And one of the things we are asking is, we are also asking DAE to hold a consultation before they finalize the rules. So that is one thing we are asking. So maybe that will also help us to have a face-to-face or in-person interaction with the DAE about this. So thank you all.